Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back again with another one. It is the Authority Project. I'm your host, Brian S. Arnold here, and I'm here with my new good friend, Jesus Eddie Campa, and he says he is here to help us mind our business with the baby on the back on the back of that. Yes, so you can mind your business, baby. Is that right, Eddie?
Yes, sir. That's it. MYBB, baby. That's it. Mind your business, baby, so you can mind your business, baby.
All right, here we
That's
go.
it.
Well, we shall see what he can do for us today on this incredible episode of the Authority Project.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, feast your eyes and tune your ears. It's that time again. We are live with another episode of The Authority Project. It's the video podcast streamed on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope, where we talk to digital marketers, business coaches, and creators of all kinds on how they've built authority in their field and how you can mimic their success. Developing authority, building your audience, and attracting better clients to your own business. Now, without further ado, let's bring to the virtual stage your host, Brian S. Arnold.
And we are back, folks. It is the Authority Project. And you are the project who want to slap authority to your name so you can sell more of what you're great at. And I have Eddie here, and we're going to be talking about lots of things here. I think we're going to dive into a lot of, leadership here in between here and there. But we're talking about minding your business, baby. But before we dive in, Eddie, first of all, how are you doing today? First of all,
I'm doing great. You know, we're talking about this before the show. You said it's a little warmer in Boston and it's a little colder here in El Paso, Texas today than what we're used to. So it's kind of like, ooh, it's chilly.
Yes. Yeah. So let's start first of all with who you are, Eddie. Who is the man, Eddie? Who are you personally and then professionally?
Yeah. So personally, I'm a son, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a friend to very few.
Okay.
And I'm a man of faith and a man who believes that he can do whatever he sets his mind to as long as he's minding his own business, baby.
Amen. I like that. And professionally?
And professionally, well, my career by trade is I was a law enforcement officer. I spent 27 years in the field. Worked 20 years with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, retired as the chief deputy, went on to become chief of police in Odessa, was chief of police in Marshall, Texas, a very racially divided community for 3 years. And I was the state director for the Council on Law Enforcement Education and Training for the state of Oklahoma for 2.5 years. Now I'm retired. I've always been an entrepreneur, running my own business, America's Best Strategic Security Group, and Leading Through Adversity. And university professor, working on a PhD, and author, and it just goes on and on. Okay, so I'm not really retired.
Okay, I gotcha. So my last question, actually, before we dive in, is: do you have a daily routine, Eddie?
You know, I used to. The only routine that I really have is, I wake up. It's funny. I go to bed about 2:00 in the morning, and I'm awake by 5:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And I'm trying to get back into the routine, and that routine is of waking up early to go to the gym instead of waking up early to eat breakfast,
right,
read the newspaper, and then try to get to the gym.
Right.
So I've added a couple of pounds to myself here in the last couple of years, and we need to get back into that workout routine. But I guess the only thing really is just every morning when I wake up, I thank God for giving me another day on this God's green earth, and we got to live it to its fullest, And honestly, I hate to keep saying this, but when I learned to mind my business started blooming, and I started doing my thing,
Okay, let's dive right into that then. So this is the title, "Mind Your Business, Baby," so you can mind your business, baby. Where does that start? Where did that originate from?
Well, it was actually just kind of a play on words, and really because everybody says there's an old saying in Spanish, and I'll say it and then I'll translate it, and it says, "El que quiere tienda, que la atienda." In other words, if you want a business, you need to mind your business. And mind is, you got to go there and you better pay attention to it and make your business grow.
Yeah.
Because if you're not minding your business, your employees, your customers, or your competitors, they're stealing from you if you're not there minding it. So what I noticed is that a lot of entrepreneurs and leaders, they were so busy minding other people's business. And when I mean minding other people's business, let me go see what my competitor's doing. Let me go see what this is doing. Let me go see this. I gotta keep up with the Joneses, and they were so busy doing that they forgot to literally mind their business because they were so involved in somebody else's business. So I was kind of like, well, you know what? Maybe if we all learned how to mind our business, you'd be able to mind your business. So it was kind of a play on words, double take there. And it has two says, it's mind the business and then mind your business so you can grow your business.
So I can imagine, I mean, with if you have a client or the people that you interact with, when you say that, what is the first step in getting them to that point? Because we all is distracted. I've really just recently like, I'm getting sick of Facebook. So,
oh yeah, and it's funny. We're on social media right now, and it's such a distraction, but it's also a very powerful tool. Right. You just got to learn to stop the distractions. Like, this is a good distraction. We're learning. This is an opportunity, and every opportunity, every distraction that you have, you should take it as a learning opportunity to help you grow your business. And this is exactly what it is. But, if you're busy trying to see how many likes you got, or whether or not somebody's following you, or you're busy there trying to see, I mean, could you imagine if we're here talking right now, and then you get on your cell phone to see how X Jones's podcast is doing, and all of a sudden we're just talking here and I'm the only one saying anything, and you're busy concerned with what everybody else's podcast is doing, your podcast is going to hurt,
Yeah. This is, I think, I'm glad we're going there, because I think a lot of people do get distracted by that. They'll have these people who get on their DMs, into their messaging, and then like they'll say stuff like, how can I help you? Can I help you? Free stuff. Get my free training. Get this, that, and that, and the other. And it's hard to get into a flow of your own business where there's distractions involved. Do you have any kind of formula to get people focused in on their business?
Yeah, the main thing that we teach everybody, especially through leading through adversity, is just that you got to lead through adversity. Distractions are an adversity. They're an adverse effect that have a bad influence on your business. So the first thing you need to do is stay focused. Know why you're doing what you're doing. Are you doing it because you want to get likes on Instagram, or are you doing it because you want to add 6 zeros to your income? So which one is important? If the 6 zeros to your income are more important than the 6 likes that somebody's going to give you, then you need to stop worrying about it. One of the things that we tell people, one of the things that we've learned to do is, we live and die by our cell phones, right? This is the new way to, right? So what I do, I know my calendar, I know my schedule, I know where I'm supposed to be, who I'm supposed to be, I know who I'm expecting a phone call. When I have clients, I know when the deadlines of RFPs that I have put in are. I know all of that. So, like, for instance, right now I've got 3 hours blocked off just for me and you. I know we're not going to be here for 3 hours, but guess what? That gives me 3 hours of solidarity to do whatever it is that I need to get done. When we're done, I'll probably have, 2 hours or 2 hours and 30 minutes to do something. Well, the cell phone, goes into my desk drawer, and I don't look at it. If it rings, I'm not expecting a phone call. I know where my children are. My children are here. I know who's at my office. I know everything's going on. And if worse comes to worse, the one person or the people that really need to get a hold of me, they know what to do in order to get a hold of me. So you eliminate those distractions, and it lets me clear my mind and lets me continue to move forward. So you have to come up with quirks, and that's one of them, is eliminate the distractions, stop the noise, know your why, and move forward and execute. That's the problem with a lot of people, is that we have dreams and ideas, but we get so lost in those dreams and ideas, thinking of just daydreaming them, that we don't put any actual action into it. So either that's how we do it.
So tell us now, that's amazing. So tell us now what you mean by leading through adversity. What is
Yeah.
How was that done?
Yeah. So, leading through adversity is one of the companies that I own. And that's a leadership development, coaching, mentoring company that I put together back in 2014, when I went through some adverse activity in my life, professionally and personally. And I really thought I was out there on an island all by myself. And yet I was still the leader of the organization. I was the leader of my family. And I had all this adversity that I was dealing with. I had all these fake news articles that were coming out about me saying that, this and that. And I'm sitting here going, well, wait a minute. How is that possible if the reason I'm doing this it didn't make any sense?
Yeah.
But I had to continue to move forward and continue to lead through that adversity. And how did I do it? my faith in God, strong family, perseverance, moving forward. I knew my why. I knew where I had to be, and I knew how I was going to get there. I knew why I was put on this earth. I knew that those were distractions. Here's the beautiful thing about haters and when people want to talk about you. Everybody that wants to talk about you or hate on you, they do that because they so desperately want what you have and they cannot achieve it because they don't have that talent. And you have to recognize that and know that. And that's all they are, is a distraction. So once you're able to deal with that distraction and just push it away and don't mind it, because that's none of your business. What people say about you is not your business, baby. What your business is your why and how you're going to get there. So mind your business. Don't mind their business. People, it's okay for people not to like you. It's okay for people to be pissed off at you. It's okay. And once you're okay with that, the clarity on minding your own business, baby, is just full steam ahead. And that's what gets you to lead through adversity. Okay. And that's what we have to teach a lot of people is that, look, a sailboat was designed to go through the waves, through the sails, through the hard storms. And that's what builds a good salesperson, a good sailor. And if you're not going through those turbulent seas and you're always, just sailing along on perfect seas, you're not going to become the developed sailor that you are. So that's what leading through adversity is all about, is learning that it's okay to go through those struggles as long as you never give up. You just got to keep moving.
So take us to a point where say, well, we were in the fight. We like you said, you saw these fake news. Maybe we get some bad feedback from somebody. How do we get over that? How do we get to the point where we can still get our mission complete, our tasks done, so that our company can still thrive?
Yeah.
All that mess.
So the beautiful thing about social media in today's world is that we can post it whatever we want and say whatever we want about anybody with little to no repercussion. And the only repercussion the person will be facing is the bad repercussion, because it's funny. I've got over, I think the last time I had my assistant count, there's over 230 news articles, podcasts, something about me on the internet. That's a lot of stuff on the internet about me. And there's 2 negative stories about me. Out of the 230 stories that are out there about me, do you know which 2 people remember?
The negative one.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, you had to read 18 stories to get to the first negative, and then you had to read 49 more stories to get to the second one. Yeah. And that's what you got out of my profile? Okay. Awesome. So when that happens, and you're dealing with that adversity, you keep showcasing, because people are going to believe what people are going to believe, but your actions speak louder than your words. Your actions speak louder than your words. Those are words. Those are things that people have said. It doesn't matter as long as you're moving that train forward. And the more stories that are out there, those that are educated, the people that matter. For instance, my clients, I cater to a specific group of clients, depending on my business. Leading through adversities for specific leadership, executive personnel. My America's Best Strategic Security Group. We're a strategic security company. We're an executive search firm. Educated people know, it's as Snoop Dogg once said, gangster recognizes gangster. So the people that know what I'm trying to do and are seeking my services, they know that it's part of the game that comes with it. So they overlook it. They're like, yeah, okay, whatever. And that's how you keep moving forward. You got to just block out those distractions. And it's a lot easier said than done. Okay. Because, everybody wants to be liked. Well, I mean, that's funny because I say everybody, but I really don't care if I am liked or not. I'm here for a reason, and I have to move that reason forward. And so when those negative issues come up, yes, you have to know the difference between listening to the noise and hearing the noise. Because if you stop to listen to every dog that barks at you, you're not going to get very far. But there may be some truth into why that dog is barking at you. Why? Because you might be minding his business instead of minding your own business. And he's barking at you, letting you know to stay in your own lane. So before you cross that lane, you might be hearing that noise and saying, oh, wait, there's some truth to that. Let me pivot and make the adjustment and then that dog stops barking. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah.
you got to know the difference between listening and hearing. There's always an iota of truth to what somebody says. You may not like me because of this. And it's like, oh, well, maybe my product offended you. How many more people feel like that? So you might want to make that little pivot. But if somebody says, "Ow," I've learned that the majority of people that don't like me or like what I do don't even know who I am. They just heard somebody else said they didn't like me, so they don't want to like me. So you gotta understand the difference between listening and hearing. Once you hear that negative feedback or that negative response, you make the pivot, you make the adjustment if it's required and if it's going to benefit you in a positive manner. One of the greatest things about having critics and people minding your business instead of minding their business is that they actually give you the pointers to the next greatest idea. Well, if I would have done it this way. Oh shit, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Well, while you're busy telling me what I should be doing, let me implement that.
Right.
Let me move it, and you just made me an extra $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, and you're sitting there going, "But that was my idea." Well, you should have implemented it instead of minding my business. You should have minded your business.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
you just those are the things you have to learn the difference between listening and hearing, and it'll take you a long way.
I love it. I love it. So my I think it's one of my last questions here. So with your company, how do you create this particular culture or this thing where everybody's on board with what you're trying to do? Or what do you are you creating any kind of initiatives? Are you creating anything like this is how I want this to go, so that we are focused on this business and not being too distracted by the competition and so forth? What are you creating right now that you think that has been successful for you and your company to take you to another level?
Repetitiveness. We repeat a lot, and not only we don't just repeat it, we actually believe what we say.
Okay.
So when we're out there doing it, and our clients and our customers, our employees, our staff members are seeing that we live by the creed of minding your own business, baby, we're able to do that. When we go to leading through adversity is a specialized company that deals more with executives and soon to be leaders. And the great thing is that everybody that's part of our organization has been some form of C-level executive and has dealt with those issues. They've either been chiefs of police, city managers, school superintendents, university professors, and they've been through that. So when somebody gets sent to us saying like, "Hey, I'm at my wit's end. I don't know how to move forward. I don't know how to do this," they're actually listening to people who in reality have no vested interest on whether you succeed or not, other than to make you a better person because we've been there. So we can sit there and say, "Brian, I'm not competing against you. I'm not trying to take your job as the superintendent, but let me tell you what me as a chief of police, what these two superintendents went through, and this is how we did it. Let me give you our idea. This is how we would fix it. Take it, run with it, and see if it works." Because all we want you to do is to say, "Hey, it worked." You become part of our network. We start building leaders that are minded in the same way, and we continue to grow. And hopefully, we change the direction of leadership all across the country eventually.
So I got one little question squeezing in. Where did you? Because I know you got a book on this too. Why leadership? Why is that a big focus in what you are standing on?
So one of the things, I mean, by no means, I've been called an expert on leadership. I'm getting a PhD in leadership. However, I think that leadership is really open to interpretation. There's people who think I'm a great leader. There's people who think I'm a horrible leader. Well, that's fine. That's your. Some people think Donald Trump was the world's greatest leader. Some people think Joe Biden's the greatest leader. It's open to interpretation. But once we remove all the noise, what is leadership really all about? What is true leadership? And one of the most frustrating things is when I have somebody that comes and tells me, who's been in law enforcement for 5 years, that I don't know the first thing about leadership in law enforcement when I've been doing it for 27 years and 15 of those years have been in leadership positions. It's like, okay, but then they think that their sergeant who goes out and drinks beer with them or lets them get away with everything, calling in sick, oh, he's a great leader because he lets me do whatever I want. And that Campa guy, he's a stickler for the rules. Well, that's not a good leader, you know. So if we can get people to get on the same page, to think and know what leadership is about accountability. Leadership is, and that's what's wrong with, leadership in America today, is that there's no accountability. People like leadership that benefits them, as opposed to leadership being what leads the nation to success. I hope that makes sense. And that's why leadership is, that we're trying to get people to understand that leadership is not as easy as people think it is, and you can't just slap the word leader on somebody just because we like going out with Eddie because he likes to drink beer and he buys all the rounds, and yet Brian he expects us to be at work on time. God, the nerve of that guy.
Yeah.
So that's why leadership. We saw something broken and we're trying to fix it.
I love it. Now I only have one last question for you. I ask this of all of my guests, Eddie, and it goes something like this. There are people who are watching you now, listening to you later, and they have similar goals, similar interests as you are. They want to take their business to another level. They want to be super focused on really building their business in a competitive world. Can you tell them, and I'll put you front and center once more, how they can become an authority in this space?
Mind your business, baby. if you're in your business and you're in that business and you want to see it grow, put 100% focus in that business. If that is your why, whether you're selling, here in El Paso, if you're selling street tacos, become the best street taco vendor ever. Make it the best taco ever. If you're an executive, you make the right decisions. That's why you get paid the big bucks, to make those decisions. What is best for you and your organization. And some of the hardest things to do is to do the right thing, because it's the right thing to do, is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Don't do things because it's the popular thing to do. Do it because it's the right thing. And the minute that you start minding your business and you know why you're doing what you're doing, I'm going to tell you right there, that's when your business just takes off. Stop listening to the noise and concentrate on you and your business and moving it forward. And it's that simple. And that's what irks me, is that, like, guys, the formula is right there. Mind your business, baby. Literally mind it and mind it. That's it.
Perfect, Eddie. Great stuff, man. This is really great stuff. And I don't think I've ever heard it quite that way to that question. So amazing, man. Just amazing. Can you tell them now where they can find you after the show?
Yeah, absolutely. Visit us at JesusEddieCampa.com. That's my website. If you want some leadership advice and more information on Leading Through Adversity, you could also visit leadingthroughdversity.com. Both websites are different, because JesusEddieCampa.com is about me and where we're going and the things that we're doing and stuff like that. Leading Through Adversity is the business page. You can visit both of them and get some great information, phone numbers and email addresses. Everything's on those websites.
You can buy that book too, right?
And you can buy the book on both websites. Yes.
Awesome. Well, this has been great. I appreciate you again. I'm not sure if people knew that he accommodated me with changing his time for this about a half an hour later. So I appreciate you even for that, and just the amazing content.
No, thank you.
This has been great. So I'm done. I have nothing else to say, unless you have any final words you want to give us before we go.
Brian, I hate to beat a dead horse with a stick, but people, mind your business, baby, and watch it skyrocket. Do it.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, I'm it. And as I always say, people, remember, build it, share it, and they will come. We'll see you next time. We're out of here. Peace.
And that's a wrap for this episode of The Authority Project. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you like what you heard, we want to hear from you. Subscribe, rate, and give an honest review. Share and tell your friends so they can hear too. And for even more authority-building tactics, be sure to sign up at theauthorityletter.com. Get free weekly content and ongoing digital product giveaways to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. We certainly hope you got a key takeaway, or maybe an aha moment from today's broadcast. Just remember, it's your authority. Build it, share it, and they will come. Until next time.